All right, let's get right into it. We're going to unpack a pretty wild theory today, one that might just change how you think about aging. We're looking at this really striking idea about why certain parts of our body, seem to show our age so much faster than others. And the reason, it suggests, isn't just about birthdays passing by. It's something much more specific.
I mean, it's a question you've probably asked yourself, right? You glance down at your hands, maybe you look in the mirror, and then you catch a glimpse of the skin on your arm or your chest that's usually covered up. And the difference can be, well, it can be night and day. So what is really going on? Is it just the sun, or is there something else happening here?
And what's wild is that this isn't just something a few people notice. The source for this whole idea, Fuqi Wu, points out that this is happening everywhere. All over the world, people over 60 start showing these very specific signs on their faces and hands. I'm talking swelling, strange blotches, really deep wrinkles. And get this, it's not even consistent. Some people's hands look kind of withered, while others look puffy. It's this global pattern that got him thinking, maybe we're looking at aging all wrong. So this brings us to a major fork in the road. You've got the conventional view, the one we all know, which basically says, hey, that's just getting old. It happens. It's unavoidable. But then you have this radical new theory, and it argues that what we're seeing, what we call aging, isn't natural at all. It's actually a process of chemical degradation. It's your body breaking down from toxins. Right, so the key here is that this breakdown isn't from just one single thing. According to this theory, our bodies are fighting a two-front war against toxins. It's a battle happening from the inside out and the outside in. And it's this combined attack that eventually shows up as what we see as aging on our most exposed skin. So let's break down those two fronts, shall we? First, you've got the internal war. Over your whole life, toxins just build up. From food, from water, from just your body doing its thing. And then there's the second front, the external one. This is a nonstop assault from airborne junk, pollutants, nanoparticles that are literally hitting our exposed skin all day, every day. Now, to really get what's happening on the inside, you have to understand this one critical idea, the toxin saturation point. The best way to think about it is like a bucket slowly filling up with water. For decades, your body is bailing out the water, processing the toxins. But eventually, the bucket gets full. Your body hits a tipping point where it's just overwhelmed. It can't keep up anymore. And this is where it all goes wrong, where the two fronts crash into each other. So first, your internal systems hit that saturation point we just talked about. The bucket is full. At the exact same time, those external airborne toxins are still hammering away at your face and hands. The combination is just too much. The tissue can't handle it, and you start to see actual damage. Sometimes it's swelling, which is the skin holding on to toxins, or it's withering, which is literally tissue death. Now, it's a pretty convincing story, right? But you might be thinking, okay, but how do we know it's airborne toxins? Couldn't it just be the sun or something else? It's a fair question, but the evidence this theory points to is so simple, so obvious, you literally see it every single day. The proof is in this simple comparison. Just look at the skin on your hands and face versus the skin on, say, your chest or your upper arms. What's the biggest difference? Well, one is protected by your clothes, right? It's shielded from that constant direct blast of airborne toxins. And the result? It's right there on our bodies. The aging on our protected skin is way less noticeable, and it happens so much slower. Just stop and think about that. Your shirt is basically a daily science experiment. Without even realizing it, you're running a control group on your own body. And it provides some seriously powerful, visible proof that the air around us, our environment, is playing a huge role in how fast our skin ages. And this brings us to a really powerful idea from the author, Fuqi Wu. He doesn't look at wrinkles and age spots and just see, cosmetic issues. No, he calls them the Forerunner signs of life's shackles. What a phrase, huh? It totally reframes everything. These aren't just signs of aging, they're warning signs of something much, much deeper. So if they're Forerunner signs, what exactly are they a forerunner to? Well, this is where it gets serious. This isn't just about looking older. The theory says that what you see on your hands and face has 3 pretty profound implications for your actual overall health. Okay, implication number 1. Your hands and your face are basically the check engine light on your body's dashboard. When they start to show this kind of accelerated aging,
It's not a skin problem. It's a signal. It's your body's way of telling you that the whole system is starting to struggle with that internal toxic load we talked about, that the bucket is getting dangerously full. Implication number 2, it's back to that metaphor of life's shackles. So what are the shackles? According to this, it isn't time. It isn't getting older. The shackles are two forces locking together, the relentless attack from environmental toxins on the outside, and that slow, steady buildup of toxins on the inside. And the visible aging on your skin, that's the sound of the lock clicking tighter. And finally, implication number 3, and this one's the most sobering of all. These Forerunner signs, they aren't just warnings. The theory says they are actual predictors of your lifespan. That the state of your face and hands is a direct visual readout of how much toxic buildup you have inside, which is a reflection of your overall health and, ultimately, your path forward. So we'll leave you with this thought, because it really brings it all home. If this theory is right, if the way our hands and face are aging really is an early morning light on the dashboard of our health, what is the light on your dashboard telling you right now?